our guest sung. As a Toastmaster in our organization, especially for those of you coming in either 20 years ago or as recent as today, there's a whole gamut of participation as Toastmasters. And this club has a great history going back almost 10 years. Not necessarily at this location, but in the group that put this together with the vision that we could be a next step club. A next step that would allow us to take that step further than where we are now. Very simple. And for that, we created the club and developed it based on the principles that Toastmasters International gave us and shares with us. It allows us to have manuals and becomes our founding bedrock. We can stand on their shoulders to be able to come together as a community and be able to communicate with ourselves, to practice our presentation, and at some point give it to others. That's next step Toastmasters. So maybe as a way of introduction, let me share with you a few things. First is Toastmasters International. Then I'll share with you the club itself, how we're formulated here. We have a website. Then we also have an internal communications way for us to participate so that we can exchange ideas, thoughts, and more importantly, assign ourselves to speak in a given day. So those three things, Toastmasters International, our club website, and how do we communicate. So let's look at the first one, which is Toastmasters International. As I said, we're on their shoulders, participating with Toastmasters. And what they have done over the past 100 years has allowed us to participate in a way that we can gather the information from all the clubs that contribute. And on a monthly basis, this organization provides us at no charge as part of our membership, a magazine that we can now have, not just in print, but on video. This one in particular is for August, and it's entitled Body Language. And let me share a little bit about the thoughts that body language expresses here. This is the speaker, Denise Graveline, and she shares with us the body movement that we want to have as a speaker up here. Because as you see, not only is our communications, our words important, but also how we express ourselves. If you notice Shannon, when she was up here, she was able to run, she was able to move. We can visualize that a little bit easier because the movements were there. And she could do that in addition to her words. So this speaker says, start with a smile. Start with a smile. I like to think that we smile before we have to smile. We smile on the way to the club. We smile so that we don't have to have a forced smile. Because as you see, she says that allows us to eliminate our fears or our nervousness that we have. And also people feel welcome when the smile is there. Next thing is free up your hands. Now, I do have a tablet here that I can guide you, but certainly free up your hands. That allows you to express yourself and perhaps not even use any notes. Now, in some cases, it's acceptable if that's part of your communications. And in this case, I'm showing you how I use the tablet to go through this so that I don't have to memorize, but you could also see what's going on. It's the gestures. The other part is instead of flight or fight, she says excite. Fight or flight, excite instead. So the similarity between fighting and flighting, it's interesting, psychologists have told us that the emotions internally are just about the same. It's how we interpret them. What she says is interpret that as excitement. And so if that comes across as excitement, that really It's not our butterflies. It's not that I want to really feel awkward, but it's excitement that's just communicating, coming through us. And strike a power pose. A power pose. Now, the practice before a power pose, there are 4 things. And I'm going to invite all of you, both of you, including myself, to stand up. And I want to share the 4 power poses that she recommends. If you would, Sam. Put your hands on your hips with your elbows out to the side. Yeah, that's a power pose. Now, I don't know if I've seen that often as speakers, but that's the mom pose if you're, and maybe for dad. How old are your children? Oh, okay, so maybe you do this father power pose. Now, whether you do that here, that's an example. The second one is put your arms out to the side, stretching them as far as you can, like this. And that becomes quite interesting. One of the expressions that a speaker that gave us before, when Brazil lost to Germany, no, they lost to Germany, to Germany, the expression was, how much did they lose by? Well, they lost by this much. So when he was up here. The third one is put your hands behind your head with your elbows out to the sides. Now, I don't know what situation you would use this in speaking, but you can see it's very expressive. People are going to see it. And the fourth and last one is put your arms up high, higher than your shoulders, and reach for the sky. And it may be like this, and that's an interesting expression there. Thank you for participating. I wanted to just share that. And also, what I notice is when you invite the audience to participate physically like that, now they're going to participate. You know they're going to be awake. There's no multitasking. They're going through that. But the other point that she's saying is that these are power poses that perhaps you want to be aware of, not necessarily to do that in your presentation, but it could be as a preparation before you go into doing that. The other one also is to be aware of low power poses and not to necessarily have them. But this is a magazine that I wanted to share with you that you get different tips from leaders worldwide, and I forget exactly how many members worldwide. Would you say there's 300,000 members, Shannon, worldwide?
I think so, yeah.
So that's a lot. 300,000.
I think there might even be more than that. When they announce the winner, they say the person won over how many numbers there are. So we'll soon know.
So that's an example of the popularity of international. Let's go now more locally to here at Next Step Toastmasters. We're fortunate that we're able to create a website. And we do call it nextstepchicago.com. And here's an opportunity for both advanced and new members to really peruse through here, because we can look at different activities. We had an open event July 24th here. We have different postings here, but we also have speeches that were given before, and we can always have an opportunity at any time to go back and view a presentation or speech that was given that's video recorded and uploaded. One may come up a little later, but I won't dwell on that. The thing about this that I want to bring your attention is that we do have a website that allows us to really go back in history and view a lot of different speakers. There are some speeches here at the top. We can look at the contact, how people can reach us and connect with us. Sam, was this one of the ways that you found us through this website, or how did you find this quote?
Well, usually through the internet, on the website, your product will be found down, and I'm going to
Oh, okay, very good. So it's visible, it has some visibility, and here's some past presenters that have been in our club and participated. So this gives you an idea, at least, of how to navigate, how to participate. The other aspect is that we have an internal group that we call a Yahoo group. And this group allows us to participate and lay out for the remainder of the year participation. So we have a way for us to sign up for speeches. We like to have 3 or 4 speakers at a time. that can participate. Membership on this is free, of course, for all the members, and they get an idea of how we can communicate. Because as you see here, we can also have conversations with members of our group, and it's gotten a lot better because they upgraded this module so that we can look at different conversations that we've had in the past and thread lines and be able to really stay connected with the club. So those are the three things I wanted to bring to your attention: is the international international positioning, our local club, as well as how we communicate internally. So I'd like to be able to turn it over to Shannon, who's my evaluator for this presentation. Shannon?